group there, you know, taking us back memory lane in some tunes, and just cutting across Africa, going all the way to give us some, I wouldn't call it amapiano, but we'd call it some nice South African music.
I absolutely love that, and I'm loving the fact we've done it in Ghana actually as well, didn't we? We had the local artists that were coming in and some international artists as well, and they've sort of replicated that here in Nigeria, and I think it really breaks it up. The crowd seems to love it, and that little space from boxing before we kick on again with the three fantastic contests that we've got coming up. You know, kicking off the action with Dan Azeez going in against Sulaimon Adeosun. Really looking forward to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going straight to the next bout of the evening. This one is an international light heavyweight contest. Time for the boxers to make their ring walk. First off, to fight out of the blue corner, ladies and gentlemen, Sulaimon Adeosun.
Here we go, local man, Sulaimon Adeosun. Looking forward to this one. Comes to the ring with a record of 11 victories, 2 defeats, and 7 of those victories coming by the way of KO. He's got a tough night ahead of him tonight. In the hands of Dan Azeez, the opponent in the opposite corner. Adeosun likes to keep his hands very high, come forward, but he does have quite flat feet. And as we know, or if anyone knows Dan Azeez, he loves a fighter to come and sit in a pocket, so expect fireworks, guys, because Adeosun will see this as a huge opportunity against a world-class operator like Dan Azeez, and that one really gives him a chance.
Absolutely, and guess what? He looks like a young fighter. I'm sure he feels young in his own body as well. He's actually 40 years old, and he's got a fantastic record when it comes to knockout ratio as well. He's got 63.6, which is just slightly above Dan Azeez's 61.9. But we all know how clinical a boxer Dan Azeez can be, so he's got his work cut out for himself. He's caught on lags, and we're going to go back to Ralph Chidozie George once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite his opponent to make his ring walk. And he's fighting all the way from London. Welcome, Dan Super Azeez.
Here we go. Super Dan Azeez. Lost to another Ghanaian boxer in Joshua Boatsi. That was back in February 2024. And a low-key win last time out up in Scotland. That was in a 6th round. 6th round up, like I say, it was low-key before he tries to announce himself back on the big stage. There's a record there of Dan Azeez, 21 victories, only those 2 defeats and 1 draw.
And guess what? I'm excited. He is actually British, but we talk about his Nigerian roots, and that's the way he's coming to the ring. He's wearing the traditional Southwest Nigerian outfit, which is the agbada, which is like a full regalia where you wear some other native attire underneath. But this one is like what you want to call the big man. You know what? This is what the big man wears. Right around here. When you see someone wear this outfit, it oozes money, it oozes influence and power as well. Whether he's going to be able to prove that in the ring as well, he needs to convince a lot of his followers, like you said. It was a bit of an unconvincing victory in his last fight.
Yep, it certainly was. And he lost to Louis Edmondson as well for the British title. That was before his last fight. Lost that via split decision. So he really does need a big win here, and then he needs to kick on and try and get another win again. Will that be in December back out here, or will we see him on the big stage back in Britain? First, he has to deal with things here. Lovely, lovely man, Dan Azeez. But he is getting older now, 36 years of age. He's had an incredible career. as I said earlier,
From a British champion, right?
Southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, European.
Wow.
He's done it all.
All under his belt. So,
and we're talking about a guy here who was boxing on small hall shows, trying to make ends meet, just trying to build a career, a reputation for himself, and he done it, and he done it the hard way. That's why I respect a man like Azeez, who deserves all the accolades.
And now let's introduce the 3 judges scoring this bout at the bell. The judges are Tayo Olaifa, Yetunde Alimi, Tola Jacobs, and the referee for the bout, Martins Abdul-Wahab. And now, introducing the fighters, first fighting out of the blue corner, fighting out of Lagos, Nigeria. He weighs 179.8 pounds with a career record of 13 bouts, 11 wins, 2 losses. 7 of his 11 wins are coming by way of knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the former Nigeria's middleweight champion, Sulaimon Adeosun. And now, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, fighting out of London, England by way of Ibadan, Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, he weighs 179.6 pounds with a career record of 24 fights, 21 wins, 2 losses. 13 of his wins are coming by way of knockouts. Introducing the former British light heavyweight champion, former Commonwealth light heavyweight champion, the former European Boxing Union light heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, first time fighting in Nigeria, his fatherland. Introducing Dan Super Azeez. The referee will now give his instructions to the fighters.
let's go straight to the tail of the tail, and here you have it: 21 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, and up against a man who's got 13 fights under his belt, 11 wins, 2 losses. And when you talk about weight, of course, it's a very close one between the two. Surprisingly, Sulaimon Adeosun weighs even more than the heavily built Dan Azeez by just a few. That's about 0.2 pounds.
Yep, doesn't sound like a lot.
It doesn't look it though.
Trust me, ask Chris Eubank, it is a lot, because he only just missed the weight against Conor Benn, and he got penalised terribly for that.
Absolutely.
We get that fight again November the 15th. Really looking forward to the return of Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. That takes place at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But tonight we're in Lagos, Nigeria. Myself and the boys are really calling this one. Really looking forward to it. Denzel Bentley to my left, and Nareem, sorry. There's it.
Niran Adesanya.
There you go.
Right here with you as well.
Niran, I just lost the plot. Niran, because I'm getting excited about this one. Dan Azeez in the ring. We've all
Still looking sharp.
Oh, it absolutely is. We've all got emotions with Dan Azeez. Really nice guy. We followed his career right from the beginning, and he looks in fantastic shape, Denzel, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was really excited when he got the opportunity to come and fight out here. So he's making sure he's coming in to make a statement. Do you know what I mean? He's not making any mistakes, any hiccups. He's trained really hard. I've been down the gym with him, and he come out here even early to make sure, even though he comes out here regularly, he just wanted to make sure he adapted to everything, and there was no
surprises.
No surprises. He didn't want to come late and then, something was wrong. He didn't feel right or whatever. He settled in right away, and he took it very seriously coming over here to fight tonight.
Absolutely, and you can see it in him as well. Very sharp, come out of the blocks, all ready to go, and he's got a good, formidable opponent against him as well. Not a lot of losses coming from. Both of them have actually lost 2 fights each other, but of course the experience that Dan brings into this. I mean, British, Commonwealth, European champion, former champion, that is absolutely impressive.
Yeah, and it really is impressive, and I think it's important, a win for both of these guys at this stage of their careers. And we say Dan Azeez is 36.
And this opponent, Adeosun, is 40.
Yeah, it's incredible. So it really is a must-win for them. But I think for Dan Azeez, he's putting a lot on the line here. I know he's ticking a list. You know, it's something that he's always wanted to do. Box in his homeland of Nigeria.
And interestingly, just about how many days now? Maybe about, close about a week ago, he hails from Oyo State, Ibadan. And the traditional ruler from his hometown was just coronated last Friday. The Olubadan of Ibadan land. That's what they called Oba Ladoja. You know, I'm sure he's probably been there before, maybe not seen the king that's just been coronated, but he must have seen his predecessors. Because if you're from there and you've done something as big as Dan Azeez has done, I'm pretty sure he would have paid a visit to the palace. And it's nice to see him, come back finally before his career wraps up, and to pull up one good fight here. Let's see how it turns out for you, if it's going to be a very victorious one.
Yep, lovely words there. And Dan Azeez, I know it was always a dream of his to box here in Nigeria, and he gets off to a very good start there against Adeosun. Adeosun looks very capable for sure. First time we get a look at him, but Dan Azeez was very workmanlike there, and I thought that was a nice start, nice and composed, using his experience and not taking any chances before he fills his opponent out.
Yeah, I mean, he went in there nice and composed. He didn't rush anything. As excited as he was to box here, he didn't box to that excitement or box to those emotions or those feelings. So that's the experience. That's he's been in the game a long time. There's a good right hand there over the top as well from Azeez. But he didn't rush his work after that. He's nice and composed, throwing a good jab, and some good right hands over the top every now and again.
And interestingly, I'm just looking at their stats again. They got quite a lot of similarities in them. I mean, Dan Azeez turned pro on the 2nd of December 2017. His opponent turned pro 14th of April 2018. They're coming from that generation, and they know that they just want to go out with a bang. Not a lot of fights left in them, but at the end of the day, you still want to do a good job in the ring anytime you're in there.
Absolutely, both guys in the twilight of their career, and I'm sure both guys are ticking something off the bucket list here to box in Nigeria. Is a big thing for both of them. I know that for sure, and especially for Dan Azeez, who's sort of been there, seen it, done it, and is having one more crack before deciding to hang his gloves up and take another route and go into something different. But there's still a lot left in the tank, he says. We're going to find that out tonight, because Adeosun is a tough customer, a tricky customer, and he's going to ask Dan a few questions here.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's see whether Dan is going to be patient, which we know him to have that in his arsenal, and try and work Adeosun. And on the other side as well, the thing there is that Adeosun will be looking to unsettle Dan. By the time Dan gets to the 3rd or the 4th round, doesn't seem to find a headway. Some sort of change of plan, frustration might be setting in, and then Adeosun might be hoping to, capitalize on that. So, but if you're going to outwit someone like Dan Azeez, you're going to have to be on top of your game.
Denz, I bring you in here because I think that, for Sulaimon Adeosun, this must be like a dream come true. He's boxing, in Nigeria, big time boxing, coming back to Nigeria. He's on TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel, he's on DAZN, he's getting all the coverage here, and he's also boxing a guy that is very well known globally in Dan Azeez, who's been there, seen it, done it. This is his world title fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, 1,000,000%, you're right. This is what an opportunity this is, do you know what I'm saying? Imagine getting a win over Dan Azeez in your hometown in a stadium fight, and it's meant to be his homecoming. You just ripped up the script and taking all that glory. So you want to be careful. Dan's throwing some good solid jabs at him, and he's just making him unsteady. If he can keep up that kind of work rate, I don't see this guy in the full distance. I mean, Adeosun is eating those jabs up.
He's definitely eating him up. Yeah, you can see that again. That's a very massive left jab there coming from Azeez. Another uppercut. I think it's going to be like chopping the tree, like you said. Start working on the body, and then start just exhausting your opponent. At the end of the day, it might not even be a strong punch. that takes them out, because you would have systematically broken that person down.
Yeah, great analogy there from Denzel Bentley, who called that at the beginning here. He said he's going to have to chip away, chop down the old tree.
I like that
that's
description.
Exactly what he's doing here, chopping away with that jab, which is a real ramrod shot really from Dan Azeez, and that steals a fighter's soul. That can steal your heart when you're just getting that slammed in your face all the time. It may not look like a power shot, but trust me, you don't want to be on the end of it.
I just wanted to say that as well. You know, it looks like, wait till it hits you straight in the face, and the way your head goes back, you'll understand how strong those jabs are.
Yeah, his power's deceiving. I mean, you watch him from the outside and you don't think they're that powerful or that explosive, but if you're on the end of that and you're feeling him yourself, I saw him loads of times, I've spotted many rounds, and the guy's heavy-handed. I don't know whether he's got bricks for fists or something, but it hurts, and I know that's hurting Adeosun right now. You can tell by his reaction, the way his head's popping back, and he's becoming unsteady. But once the rounds go on and Dan starts putting them together, you'll see more of the way he breaks him down.
That's exactly what Dan Azeez does. He goes in there, he takes a look at his opponent, but every round he seems to get better and stronger, and there's a nice fluidity around his work. The shots really flow to the head and the body, and when he gets into a rhythm, it's very difficult to break. And that jab there, he found the range with that. Adeosun was getting his head forced back time after time, and I'll tell you something, unless Adeosun does something drastically different here, he's in for a painful night of boxing.
Well, anyways, I'm waiting for both of them. I love the music the DJ just played now. You know, I want both of them to lose themselves. When I say lose yourself, not necessarily lose your composure, but let your hands go, you know, just let's have fun. But at the same time, always be calculated as well.
Yeah, no, most definitely. You have to be calculated, but they just have to lose yourself in the moment. Like, this is the moment, this is your big moment. You got to grab it. You got to go out there and just do what needs to be done. Don't hold back, don't withhold anything, but like you said, be calculated, be smart, and just enjoy yourself and seize the moment.
And I see that they've been changing. I love the fact that this fight has been quite a very clean fight. We don't see, you know, unnecessary clinches and stuff like that. It's fireworks all over the place, but, you know, both of them trying to, you know, calculate. Just don't throw punches unnecessarily. They're trying to make sure that the punches count every time you release them.
And that's the experience from both men. They've been in the game a long time, do you know what I mean? So that's the experience. They're not wasting any shots. I mean, Adeosun just missed slightly with the uppercut, and he's trying to put a barrage of shots together, put Dan Azeez under a bit of pressure. And this is what Dan needs. You want to put him under pressure so he can wake up and do some more good work of his own. But these men don't want to waste any shots. They want to make sure every shot counts and every shot hurts. That's why you're not seeing a load of punches thrown necessarily, falling into shots, clinches. This is two experienced men in the ring right now, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think what we must remember as well with Dan right now, he wants to be tested. He wants to see what he's got left in the tank. You know, he's had a long, hard career, and at this stage of the game, you go, he doesn't want any pushovers. He wants to be tested to see if he can get back to that level. And this is the guy to test him, because Adeosun, if he can do a number on Adeosun, then he tells you he's got something left and, you know, there's something else to chase. If he struggles with him or loses to him, you know that it's the end of the road. That's pretty much where you're at. But Azeez at the moment, dominating this one from the opening bell, and doing well here in the third as well. Yeah,
I'm also noticing something about Adeosun as well. He's not as springy as he was at the start of the fight anymore. You look at when Azeez goes to the body shots, the way he bounces back is not as, you know, alert as he was at the start. So it does look like gradually Azeez is, you know, getting there. And I think that if he's able to lose himself and just release like about 3 or 4 of good punches, he could actually hurt Adeosun.
Yeah, no, definitely, like 1,000,000%. I think that's the effect of the shots that Dan is landing. Adeosun is feeling, and it's slowing him down. It's not making him as springy in his step. He's probably more cautious about getting hit now. So he's trying to cover up more, and he's less bouncy. But Dan's still cool, calm, and collective. He's just taking his time, putting shots together when he can. It's a nice, lovely right into the body there. But I think the best shot from Dan has been the jab. The best shot in the uppercut has been the jab. Dan's jab has been second to none, and he's got to stay in that work and remember, not lose himself in all the other shots. Set everything up with the jab, and, you know, like we said, chopping down the tree.
Well, we just heard the 10-second clacker go. There you go, end of round 3 and another round in the bag for Dan Azeez. Knee run, I was quite impressed there with Dan just slowly chipping away, isn't he? Not taking any silly chances. He's just a very workmanlike performance. But now we go into round 4. You say, right, Is it time now, Dan, to start picking it up a little bit? You know, you've got a guy in front of you that we know you're going to beat. Is some of the good work here from Dan Azeez. Well, covering up defensively, good work. Adeosun was letting the shots go and they were coming from unusual angles, but not really getting through with anything.
I knew this was going to be the case, Spence, because he's 40 years old. You're not going to expect so much of the same power he had in his mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s. And that's what Adeosun needs to try and work on right now, because as the round keeps, going, Adeosun keeps, becoming tired.
Yeah.
And then how much Azeez has in the tank to unleash would be the real factor here.
Yeah, well, you would expect Dan Azeez now to use his experience, start picking it up. There was that polo right hand over the top there. Just try to kid Adeosun that he was going down to the left side to the body and whip the right hand over the top. That was good boxing IQ. Like to see that. There's more to Dan Azeez's game than just plodding away and trying to grind down his opponent. There's a lot more to his game actually. Look, just trying to set traps, little shuffle back there as well off the jab. Looking for an opening, trying to be a little bit creative here. And that's Denzel, what he's got to do, isn't it? Be creative here.
Literally, that's it. Be creative, find openings, create openings. Don't just sit and wait for them, just create them, and that's what he can do. And that's what he's doing now, to be honest. He can just do it off the jab. Oh, great backhand over the top. That hurt Adeosun. And I think Dan's realised that, and he's picking up the pace.
Yeah, Adeosun in big trouble here. The legs have stiffened. You can see he's gone down. There was a delayed reaction. Great work there from Dan Azeez. And I tell you what, knee round is going to be tough here for Adeosun to recover.
Because we still got like a minute and a half left, on the clock. And let's see how Dan Azeez can handle the remaining, time left in this round. He's going to go all out, throw some body punches, and you can see he's struggling there, and good combinations again.
This is near the end now. Dan Azeez senses the end. Adeosun has not got a lot left. He's not throwing any punches. Solid jab goes through. Just misses the big right hand over the top. That could have closed the show for sure. But you just suspect one clean shot here, and this contest is done.
And Azeez is doing the right thing, lovely uppercut there. Another uppercut again, catches his man. His man looks like
He's had enough here.
Whoa.
The referee done the right thing there because Adeosun was turning in the corner. The referee spot on with that stoppage because Dan Azeez was going to carry on hitting him. Yeah. Another 8-10 punches. As you said, he's 40 years of age. He's been a good servant to the game, and he gets his opportunity here, Adeosun, against a world-class operator in this stadium here in Lagos, Nigeria. It's what dreams are made of. Win, lose or draw, Adeosun can be proud of himself, but Dan Azeez comes away victorious, and he'll look now to build his career.
Yeah, well, maybe a few more fights, to put it there. But he still says there's still enough in the tank, and he'll be impressed with this one because it's actually a stoppage, and that's a good way to come back to your homeland, where you've been dreaming to, bring a fight or come fight one of the good fights there, and you've gotten away with a stoppage win.
Most definitely, especially like you said, coming back to his homeland where his family, a lot of his family members I've never seen him fight, and they get the opportunity to see him fight today, to come back and finish with a good explosive performance like this. You stamped your name. If you ever come back, people are going to want to see you again. They remember Dan Azeez, last time he came here, he was exciting, he knocked his guy out. We'd love to see him again, and that's what the sport of boxing is about. This will obviously be a great confidence booster as well, going back and moving forward. He knows, okay, I've still got a lot left in the tank now, regardless of my age, and let's move forward and see what we can get to. I mean, the only title in boxing, especially in British boxing, he hasn't won or competed for is the world title.
Yeah.
Southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, European titles. I mean, the only thing left, the man deserves a shot at the world title, but he needs to earn his self back
he needs
to
to earn that. And then I was going to ask you something interesting.
Yes.
I mean, Dan Azeez is back.
Yes.
Are you nursing that ambition of coming back to Accra, Ghana?
Most definitely. When I was there last time in June,
I mean to go fight.
Have
you fought there already?
I haven't fought there before. But when I was there in June, I thought, what an opportunity this can be for me. I could have boxed tonight here in Lagos.
I heard Spence talk about it, that you were just very close.
Just I was meant to be fighting end of October, but things haven't been finalised and it's been pushed back. So I'm awaiting another date when I get back to the UK.
Ladies
But that just told
and
me.
gentlemen, this bout was scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing, but it came to an end at exactly 1 minute and 54 seconds of round number 4. I will go your winner by TKO. Dan Super Azeez.
And there you have it. But Charlotte is going to be in the ring, and I'm pretty sure she's itching to ask Dan Azeez some very interesting question.
Dan, not only a stoppage on such a historic card, you've done it in front of your dad, who has watched you live for the first time. How does that feel?
It feels great. It was a different kind of pressure. He doesn't like to watch me fight, and this one, I told him he has to be here. So he's up backstage wincing somewhere. But I'm just so glad to put on a good performance for this country. Balmoral Promotions, Emir Khan Promotions, JP, Siraj, you all did an excellent job to make this happen, and I just hope we can keep putting on shows like this. Big shout out to my gym, Peacocks. Yeah, I'm just really excited and happy.
You managed to control those emotions well. You worked well behind the jab. But you did turn up the heat and you got the stoppage. At what point did you know that you could go for the kill?
I think from the first round, I hit him with a body shot and I heard him win. So I said, okay then, I'll save that for later. And then obviously as the rounds went on, because I don't start fast, I'm a late fighter. So even with the 6 rounds, I was a bit like, but hey, any way I can get onto the show, I'm happy to take. So hopefully, Ezekiel's promised me an African title. So we're going to put it to him and see if we can come back out here and fight for a title.
You said you're in your Marvin Hagler era. The redemption arc has started. Who do you want then? What is going to be next? What is the map for you for now?
I've said it, you know, exactly. You can hear the crowd, everybody, do you know what I mean? Whether it's domestic, whether it's in Nigeria, Africa, anywhere. But I have said from the start of my career, I want to fight all my peers. So back home, wherever, whoever's come up at the same time as me, I want to be able to say at the end of my career, I've fought everyone. So like you said, the Marvin Hagler era, he fought everybody. I want to do the same thing.
Congratulations on the win. Enjoy it with your dad. Another fantastic fight for us this evening. And